Right now, is Jersey's governor's bodacious act working for him? Well, the poll numbers sure say so. He's got a new ad out, Mr. Christie does, portraying him as Mr. Bipartisan, but just yesterday, one more time, he went a little blue and flew off the handle. Which Christie do voters like more, the bully or the buddy? And next, Senator Kelly Ayotte. You may not have heard of her, but it could be the canary in the coal mine. Suddenly finding herself at the center of the gun control debate. We're going to have a very uncomfortable confrontation that she had with the daughter of a Newtown victim. And later, the morning after pill for kids, Plan B, now available over the counter for anyone over the age of 15. Are you comfortable with that? We'll get into it. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to RFL. I'm Richard French. Thanks so much for joining us this Wednesday evening, May 1st. That's right, we're into May now. We begin tonight with Chris Christie, governor of New Jersey, and love him or hate him, he certainly knows how to generate attention. And yesterday, at a town hall marking the 6-month anniversary of Hurricane Sandy, Hurricane Christie, he was going at full gale one more time.
So any knucklehead neighbor of yours who was telling you, oh, you signed that easement, Christie's coming in here, he's building showers for people, there'll be a bathroom there, there's a hot dog stand. Before you know it, there's going to be a Dairy Queen. I'm telling you, it's going to be unbelievable. Let me use a word that is indelicate. And there's some children here. I see one, there may be more. Cover their ears. Bull. Okay? That's what it is.
Well, comments, phrases, whatever you want to call it, stuff like that, certainly is familiar territory for Chris Christie, who had seemingly been on his best behavior in recent months. But already he's building up quite the YouTube resume. This is just an excuse for me to play the greatest hits. Take a look.
Dealing with the legislature is like dealing with your children who have a book report due. The teacher union said, well, that means he hates teachers. They are a political thuggery operation. Staying on the barrier islands for 36 hours of hurricane force winds of 75 miles an hour or more, sustained, not gusting, is stupid. I'm not going to get in debate. You want to hear the answer or no? Do you want to hear the answer or don't you? Because you think that's a confrontational tone, then you should really see me when I'm pissed.
And there's a lot more than that. Remember the scene on the boardwalk here? Remember when he called somebody numbnuts? There's so much more here, but that was the G version of Chris Christie. Now the irony is, the comment and the timing is that today is supposed to be a day framing the governor as that bipartisan compromiser, a leader, the theme of the first re-election campaign spot, and it came out today.
4 years ago, New Jersey was broken. Runaway spending, the nation's highest taxes, and unemployment on the rise. Then we elected Chris Christie. He made the tough decisions to get New Jersey back on track. Taxes cut. Spending cut, government made smaller and smarter, a real property tax cap, working with Democrats and Republicans, believing that as long as you stick to your principles, compromise isn't a dirty word. The result? 4 balanced budgets in a row, with no new taxes for anyone. The best job growth in 12 years, nearly 130,000 new private sector jobs, merit pay to reward New Jersey's best teachers, and the most education funding ever. But the most important thing he did has little to do with numbers, statistics, or even politics. He made us proud to say, we're from New Jersey. Chris Christie, the governor.
I feel warm all over. Let's bring in our panel on this. Jessica Proud, Republican strategist, Vice President at NLO Strategies. Dominic Carter, of course, political journalist, author. Evan Thies, founder of Brooklyn Strategies and former aide to Andrew Cuomo, former staffer as well to Hillary Clinton. Jessica, when they roll out a campaign, especially with a guy who's up 30 points plus in the polls, approval rating somewhere near 70%, do you say to him, we're going warm and fuzzy now, and he drops the BS word? I mean, is that coordinated here, or do they just let him go?
The greatest thing about Chris Christie is that he's authentic. He's genuine, and you never know what you're going to get with him. So I think in that setting, he was being jovial. He was sort of mocking some of his detractors, and everyone in the audience was laughing. It wasn't this confrontational setting. He was just sort of poking fun at that. And I think that's what is part of his charm. It's part of how he's been effective. And it does play into that bipartisanship because he's been able to work across the aisle and he's been able to get a lot of things done because of who he is.
That spot was supposed to remind everybody 4 years later, Jersey better than what I inherited. That was the point of the spot?
Exactly.
Okay. Dom, whatever people think, you and I have gone back and forth. I think he's an underestimated political mind. You say he's a trouble waiting to happen. One time he's going to go too far and it won't get back, but it's working.
It's working right now.
But it's been working for 4 years.
I'll give him credit. I'll give him credit. You were right.
First time for everything. Yeah.
You two were right for the moment, and I'm wrong for the moment. But what happened when he blows his lid one day?
But haven't we seen that? I mean, we saw him on the boardwalk, almost getting a fist fight.
When his state troopers had to interfere and almost stop the fight.
We saw him tell a state lawmaker, Loretta Weinberg, little old lady, okay, that he'd take a bat to her, okay. That didn't hurt him. We told him going after teachers in a press conference.
You know why it didn't hurt him?
That didn't hurt him.
You know why it didn't hurt him? Obama. When he reached out for President Obama during Hurricane Sandy, that was the smartest move that he could have ever done. He said to hell with Mitt Romney and went with Obama, but that almost guaranteed his re-election alone.
Dominic stole my line. I'm very upset about
it. Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
In that same poll that just came out where it showed how much better he's doing than the possible Democratic opponent, there's a 57% approval rating for Obama. Very smart for him to ally and say nice things about Obama. Continually since Sandy. I mean, recently he said he did everything he could for New Jersey. And you see that ad, and a lot of it is about how much he's working with Democrats.
But
so
Evan, you guys do math for a living and figuring out polls and pulse and all the rest. It's not like Christie's Mike Bloomberg in Jersey. On a lot of positions, he's pro-life. I mean, he's taking social positions here that are definitely under the conservative tent. I mean, yes, his gun control bill, it's got progressive elements, et cetera. To be in a state as blue as New Jersey is, and to have approval ratings at some point hovering around 70%, to be in front of the Democrat, and by the way, her name's Mary Buono, not that many people know, by more than 30-something points,
very qualified.
That still says something, doesn't it?
Yes.
I mean, that's an amazing mathematical equation in New Jersey.
He's an executive. People tend to look at character, personality first in these races for governors. Issues, maybe down the ladder a little bit when you're trying to pick a candidate. And he can always use the legislature as the villain. And everybody can do that.
Yeah, but couldn't have, I mean, we've seen a lot of governors come and go in New Jersey, sometimes in very short stints. My point, though, is they never had these kind of numbers. And he inherited, like the president did, a really rough economy. I'll argue the comeback of New Jersey is a bit exaggerated when you look at the real numbers, but don't let facts get in the way of a good story. My point is, he is still exceedingly popular in a very blue state, and he's still palatable for most Republicans as red enough.
Yeah, that's right. And Jessica's right. A lot of it has to do with personality, and we like to expect the unexpected from him. But I also agree with Dominic. How much longer can this happen? Because what's refreshing now could be grading later. And he's got probably another 4 years, and he's going to be running for president. I'm afraid of him in a general election as a Democrat, but he's going to have to go even further right. He's going to drop.
I want to say one thing. I want you to remember I said this. He's a train wreck waiting to happen.
But Brother Dominic, you've been saying that for a couple years now, and we've had 4 years, and he's still made it.
Exactly, because people don't view him as this phony politician, and I don't think he's riding on any Obama coattails, but they look at him as someone that will put politics aside for the people of New Jersey, and that's exactly what people are looking for right now when you have all this partisan rhetoric going on in Washington, people throwing each other under the bus, that it's like he's actually willing to stand up. Was it politics aside when he threw Romney under the bus at Romney's convention? Was that politics aside? Well, that I thought. No, I did think that was
we know he's probably a centrist, but a warning to New Jersey voters. If he gets another term, he is going to do everything to move far, far right because he knows he needs to get through the primary. So it might be a wolf in sheep's clothing for them. He's talking about working with Democrats all the time. That's not how you win a Republican primary. So if I'm pushing anything from the Buono campaign, I'm pushing that.
Just would you guys agree on this? If somebody, forget about in our region, somebody in Nebraska right now, or somebody West Coast or wherever, is the secret to Christie. I mean, people forget when he was running, could a guy his size ever get elected? I mean, if you are yourself, warts and all, people like that more today than somebody at a central casting if they can't trust them.
Exactly, especially in this political climate. I think he's very refreshing, and I think that's why New Jerseyans liked him so much, and that's why they elected him, and I think that's clearly why he'll be reelected.
And I'm with Evan. If Republicans are smart nationally, he gives them their best shot. Forget about the Rubios, forget about the rest.
Never going to get to the primary, though.
Yeah, I know that, but if he ever, I think he's the one guy who can go head-to-head with any Democrat here and hold his own.
Yeah.
I think the former prosecutor certainly doesn't hurt. Okay, we take a quick break here, but when we come back, we're going to turn to the issue of gun control. I mentioned in New Jersey, in Trenton here, some of the Newtown families, well, they showed up here, but also there was a showdown of a different sort, where Senator Kelly Ayotte suddenly found herself at the center of the debate one more time. We're going to have her very uncomfortable confrontation with the daughter of a Newtown victim. And for me, I think Republicans ought to be paying very close attention to this exchange, because we come into a state near them. Stay with us.